Welcome back, everybody, to the Journey to the Futurity. As you might recall from past videos, we are riding a 3-year-old mare, crashed by 6. She is by the great stallion Inferno 66, and out of our Ready Spook mare, who is by Smart Spook. This has been a very long journey to get to this point. We've shown this mare a limited number of times, and later in the season, September, October, took her to a few futurities in our Northeast region. We had our ups and we had our downs, and before we came to the futurity, we were working with a mentor of ours to help us kind of, wrap up some loose ends, tie up some things that we wanted to tighten up in training to get her to the futurity in Oklahoma City. Before I watch this run, I get nervous just remembering how nervous I was at this point. This will be my first show at this event. So this will be the first time I've taken a mare or a horse to this level. And it's just very nerve-wracking. I mean, it is the biggest event in the 3-year-old year for any horse. You're up against a lot of people who have done it before and some who are in my position too. I mean, you've got to get out there and get your feet wet by doing it the first time. So before I start watching this video, I get nervous just thinking about it because it was a big deal. We put a lot of time and effort into getting here, and it was just very exciting, but suspenseful at the same time. So with that said, we're going to go through this run and we're going to talk about things that went right and things that went wrong. So I'm going through the gate right away. I look back and I say, I don't have enough build. She should have been coming through that gate a lot stronger. So we didn't get the stop we wanted. She come out of the ground there a little bit. It just wasn't as strong and as deep and as hard as it should have been. That is your first chance to make an impression on the judges. And right off the bat, I'm thinking, ooh, that's not where I want it to be. But that maneuver's over. We're on to the next. So right here, I felt she was just a little looky about turning. And yep, she tries to jump out of that turn. And as a consequence, I'm holding on to those reins a little too much. So I kind of drug her through that turn. I should have dropped my hand and let her turn on her own there. But she kind of got me a little wiggy jumping out of it. So definitely a minus maneuver. Here she's a little jiggy. I get her started slow. This turn is better, but still I needed to drop my hand and just let her go around. I kind of drug her through there too. So probably 0 at best, probably more like -0.5. People have said this is the event where they're looking to get rid of people. It's so competitive, so tight in the depth of field that you have to give them a reason to look at you, because really there's so many horses out here. They're looking to eliminate most of them and get down to the top contenders. So with that said, my circles I wasn't too disappointed in. She circled pretty well for me. I could hang the reins out there and she wasn't running off with me. I did feel pretty good about the circles. I love her ears. She's kind of with me here. Ears are going back and forth. She slows down pretty good for me, but I, as a rider, slowed her down a little too soon. I should have kept riding right to that center box in the middle, but I slowed her down just a little too soon. I think I was being a little overly cautious. You'll see that more on this set of circles. Again, she's circling pretty good. I don't have to pick up on her a lot. Right here, though, she didn't steer quite as well as I'd like to have had her steer through the center. But again, she's with me pretty good. Slowed down too soon. I should have slowed down right there instead of right at that last 3/4 of the circle. But she's guiding well. She is being willfully guided, so probably a 0 set of circles for this show. Lead changes weren't bad. And now we're on to our stops. Again, she needs to be in a different gear. She's slowing down, before each of these stops, and she just did not get in the ground. I told myself I didn't want to really pick up on her, and that was a rookie mistake. This horse is 3 years old. She's at the biggest event of her life. I didn't give her enough support with my hand. So again, this stop, there wasn't even a stop. That's a -1.5 for sure. I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, and she really needed me to be there for her a little bit more, pick up and, balance her in that stop, let her know that's what we were doing, stopping. Here, I lost my stirrup on the right side. That could have been a 0, maybe plus half stop. But I lost that stirrup, and I don't know how I did it. I don't know if she was running down there slightly off balance, or I was off balance, or what. But my right foot came out of the stirrup, got me off balance for that stop, and that's what they're going to review here. Make sure that I didn't touch her or anything, because that would be an automatic disqualification. This was a hard pill for me to swallow. I will continue to watch this video, and every time I do, I will pick out things that I know I could have done better. The biggest take-home message for me is to have a better rundown, better build for my stops, and to trust her more in the turnaround. Every stop I went to, she was not at the peak of her acceleration before I pulled the trigger and asked her to stop. And I did not balance her with some contact with my reins before each stop, except for the last one. It was a little better. But this will forever go down in history as the video that makes me better. It's very hard to go back and watch this video because I left a lot of things at the door when I went through that gate. I made a judgment call on my showmanship and how I was going to show her, and I feel like, we were still a pair in our circles, but everywhere else it was a mismatch, and I made the wrong call. But this is forever going to be the video that makes me better. I don't know if any of you have been in a situation where the stakes were so high for you on a personal level and you feel like you let yourself down and there's no immediate redo. You can't go in there and vindicate yourself in the next 10 minutes and make it all better. You have to live with what just happened for painstaking, agonizing amount of time. And you just can't get that. You can do better. You should have done better. That there were things that you could have changed to make a more effective run. But it's over. It's done. And all of that year, well, let's just say 2 years worth of training this horse. I go through the pen and I messed it up. My horse was not bad. She just didn't get what she needed from me as a rider. And I'm asking myself, what went wrong? Some things I know I did wrong, but at some level, you have to let it go because you'll never get better if you hold on to the past. And that's what I told myself. I'm going to be more true to myself. I'm going to be more true to what I know I need to do and not second guess myself in these situations. And fortunately for me, at this same event, there are ancillary classes going on simultaneous to the Futurity. So I made the decision to enter this horse into the novice horse class as an ancillary class. I wanted a redo for myself to just go and be the assertive rider I know I can be and have a chance to showcase that on this mare. I went into the Futurity event here subpar to what I know kind of a rider I am. And I think nerves played a part in that. Some insecurities played a part in that. This is a man's world for sure. And at these events, it most definitely is. Um, and I needed to show up as the woman professional that I know I can be. So I decided to put her in the novice horse class. Needless to say, we did not mark well. We had a 201.5 in this go round. The next video that I'm going to show you is the novice horse class at Oklahoma City at the same event. And this was, I think, 2-3 days later. So I rode this mare around just nice and easy the next couple of days, just kind of letting her off the pressure, but just keeping her legged up. And then I entered her into the novice horse class. And in that class, my goal was to really, go in there as an assertive professional rider and get what I could out of this mare because I know she has a lot to give. And so that's what we're going to look at next. See where we end up. This is my redo. We're at the same venue, different building, showing Trash by Six in the novice horse class, the ancillary novice horse class at the NRHA Futurity. I wanted to come in here and be the assertive rider I knew I should have been for the Futurity class. I wanted to come in with more confidence, push this horse like I know she's capable of being pushed, and try to get through a pattern without the mistakes that I made in the Futurity. One of the biggest problems in my Futurity run was I didn't have enough build to my stops. So you can see I pushed her there all the way to the end. She built really nice and got in the ground. And I also, importantly, I lifted my hand to help her through those stops. There's nothing wrong with doing that. In the Futurity, I thought, well, I don't want to pick up because I want her to stop and, have a higher level of difficulty, stop on my seat and legs. But she's a 3-year-old. She needs a little help. And so I pick up here, get a good build, pick up, hold her in that stop just a little bit. She gets in the ground. And we have 2 stops that are credit earning maneuvers. Now we're going to do right set of circles. And she really does build well for me. I mean, she's running these circles very balanced, very straight between the reins. I like how her ears are coming back and forth, guides really well through the center. And one of the things that I wanted to correct from my Futurity run was to ride her all the way to the center. In the Futurity run, I had started my slowdown too soon, and here I push her right to the center and then slow down. That's going to give me a better overall score for my circles. Getting ready to pick up here, guide her through that lead change. She nails it right through the center. Really nice. Left set of circles, I think, are probably just as good as the right. She's running free, straight through the reins. I felt like I could really push her in these circles without her wanting to run off. And she just felt overall very confident. And I liked that about this run. Guides well through the middle. Again, ride straight to that center point and then ask her to come back. She slowed down really nicely there. Is guiding in that small slow. Pick up here, clear that shoulder for left to right lead change. She nailed it right in the center. Now, this part of this particular pattern could be where they get you because she may think here that we're going for a rundown, and in this pattern, we are not. So she has to stay nice and quiet, manageable. I don't even have to pick up on her on this side. We have to go all the way around the end to the other side to stop. And I felt like I actually had to push her here a little bit. So I really like that because even though we've gone through 2 stops already, she was not ahead of me anticipating a stop on that side. Really good build. Look at that. I love that. Picked up on her again, supported her through that stop, and get to my backup. Now we're going to get ready and do our turns. I want to let her settle here. And I'm thinking, is she going to jump out on me again like she did in the Futurity run? But I wanted to trust her more. I wanted to let her get started in that turn, put my hand down, let her do it on her own. So as you can see, I drop my hand in that turn and she just actually gets faster with every revolution. Loved that turn. No, it's okay to walk forward before you circle or before you spin. And I needed to do that for her because she was a little sucked back there. Again, I dropped my hand, let her go around. Shut off was a little better to the right, but we got through that run with no penalties and I was very happy. We marked a 213.5. We upped our score by 12 points. I needed this run. For me, this was what set me up to be successful for the 2025 show season. I needed a redo for that Futurity run in the worst way. I mean, I don't know if anybody has been through a situation where you needed to be at your personal best and you let yourself down and weren't. That's hard to get over, especially when the stakes are so high and you've invested so much time, so much money, so much effort to showcase something that you've started and built for the last 2.5 years. When I went through that Futurity run, I could hardly get through the day without a lump in my throat. I was so disappointed in myself for things that I had left undone that I know I could have done better. And I was fortunate to be able to have this run in the novice class. I mean, there's no making up for the Futurity, but there is something that you can do to set yourself back on track and up for success in the future. And that was this novice run. I know that I can go in to a high stakes venue now and be more confident. I needed to show her in the Futurity like I showed her in this novice class. We were 9th in the novice horse class out of almost maybe a little over 100 riders. So I felt like I had my redo. I worked on some things. I built my confidence back. I made sure that I told myself I can do this. I will do this. And I'm going to make something of my horses and myself. Had I marked a 213.5 in the Futurity run, we would have made the level 1, maybe level 2 finals. So that's what I have to bank on. And that's what I have to make sure that I realize the next time I go through those Futurity gates on my next 3-year-old. I can do it. That Futurity should be no different than any other class you put your horse in, as far as being one with your horse and showing it the way you know how to do. I guess the take home message from this whole journey is that, you know, even as professionals, we all make mistakes. There's not a level 4 rider out there who hasn't had what he or she might consider a shit show. You have to get through it. You have to figure out a way to the other side if you want to improve and be a professional. Hopefully that can be a take home message for all of you that have watched this journey. If you want something bad enough, don't short circuit anything you do. Go out there, trust in yourself, have the confidence that you know you should have. Be the ball buster every day and get up and go do what you need to do to get it done. We're looking forward to more Futurities, and for sure, we're going to handle them differently based on what we know now. I thank everybody for coming along on this ride. If you like the videos and want to see more of them, please like us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and reach out and give us a call. Thanks for coming along to the journey to the Futurity.